What's up, guys? It's time for the new tier list and all-star tower defense for the best 7 stars in the game, featuring the 2 new 7 stars. We've got Mereum finally working, and of course Johnny Joestar from Steel Ball Run. But before we hop in, guys, remember we are doing the 1 million Robux giveaway, guys. As you can see, we have plenty of Robux, and I'll refresh the page, guys. Yes, it is real. So we're gonna be giving away 1 million Robux when we hit the mythical 1 million subscriber mark. All you guys have to enter is hit that subscribe button. So here we go, guys. Let's go start the tier list and rank and showcase every single 7-star and all-star tower defense. Let's get it cracking. These are gonna be quick showcases, guys, because there is a frick ton of units. So let's start it off with Metal Cooler. Now, Metal Cooler, guys, is an outdated unit. I can see him getting a buff very, very soon. Now, the problem with Metal Cooler is the fact that he just kind of sucks now. All right, don't ask why I have Water Affinity on mine. It's a top secret. But you can kind of see, guys, he caps out at 400,000 damage for a 7-star. That is ridiculous. He does have clones, though, but honestly, his clones aren't even good anymore. 22 damage, guys. Leaves a little bit to be desired. However, he is an 8 placement unit, so 160 million total on the cloners, but he's just kind of an outdated unit. He'll work for some of the weaker raids. All right, next up, we got Broly. Now, Broly is okay, but you're going to see his damage just does not keep up anymore. All right, 122 million damage with a 16 SPA. He does get rage, so it does go up over time. However, it's not as good as the other units, which I'll show you guys a little bit later. All right, so next up we have Cell. Now, Cell is an absolute beast. Now, you can kind of see he got a nice buff. For raid modes, story modes, he's not that good. However, you can kind of see, look at this, guys, 15.2 for 8 with 8 placement. He got a lot better. However, there's another unit that got a ton better, and that is the one and only Naruto 7-star. All right, you're going to see is now cracked out. So for max 14.6 for 7, so he is potentially better than Cell, depending on how you look at it. All right, and this is Cell with a 20% buff because of the category, so he is a lot better than Cell. However, I believe his AoE is worse, so keep that in mind. All right, he does have a partner in crime, though, Sasuke. However, they did not upgrade Beast Spawner, and 35.9 for 6 is no good, so skip Beast Spawner. However, Sasuke is now... What? Yo, that's wild. Where's my other Sasuke? Yo, what? What the heck happened? Do I have to rejoin to play Sasuke? Anyways, speedrun on Sasuke. He's basically the GOAT now. Black Flames is insane. I don't know why I can't place another one. Did I place him somewhere else? Yo, that is a weird glitch. You used to be able to place him afterwards. I guess not anymore. Anyways, I guess next up we got Devil. So Devil, looks like they changed the model. Let me know, is this more accurate to the anime, or is this just like an anime Defender style reskin? Comment down below. But they reskinned him, but they didn't bother to buff him. Frick no. He is technically meta, though, because of his support. So let's go quickly rank all of these units, and then we'll move on to the next batch. So Sasuke, easily S tier. He is the new best Black Flames unit in the game. This guy, I'm gonna put him in D tier. Not really worth it. And apparently he eats your Sasuke. Bro, if he eats your Sasuke, that is absolutely ridiculous. You know what? We're gonna have to add in another tier. Bro, we're gonna have to add in the F tier, because, bro, losing your Sasuke, so you're basically just making your team worse. I don't think I've ever seen that. Dang, that is wild. All right, Cooler, I'm gonna put in D tier, guys. You can use him for some early raid modes, but there's just every unit is basically better than him now. Like, his DPS, he needs a buff, guys. I'm gonna just be real. All right, so Cell, I'm gonna put him in the C tier. He's kind of average for a 7-star, along with Broly. You know what? They're not too bad, but they're just kind of mid-range. And Diavolo, technically he's really good for support, but I'm gonna put him in like I'm gonna put him in the C tier as well. He is a good support unit, but like, dude, like, he's like only good for Gauntlet now. He's support only, so it's hard for me to rank him high on this list. However, he would go in the S tier support on a normal list. All right, next up we got Princess Apollo. Now, the only thing that makes Princess Apollo special is the fact that she gets her ability for a very low cost. All right, Touch of Grace, which removes a lot of the effects on units, which is fairly useful. So I'll give her credit where credit's due. However, she's non-sellable, and she caps out at that much damage. And she's a weird unit, guys. She has only a 4 placement, so her DPS is so low. She's only kind of good for an ability, and honestly, her ability isn't that great. I'm gonna put her in the D tier. However, she is kind of good for Gauntlet, but she's not like meta for Gauntlet, so it is what it is. All right, next up we got Ichigo. Ichigo has been surpassed by Sasuke now. All right, Sasuke just does more DPS, and the thing about Sasuke, he has a worse AoE than Ichigo, but like Sasuke also hits ground, so like he's just kind of like a worse Sasuke in my opinion. So because he's basically a worse Sasuke, I can't really rank him that high. And honestly, if he's not hitting an air unit, he's basically worthless. So I'm gonna put him in the D tier, Like, he's just a low budget Sasuke. Now, Sasuke's unobtainable, but it is what it is. All right, next up we got our boy Mochi. Mochi is the best slow unit in the game, guys. He's whack slow, very useful. His damage kind of sucks, but you know what? I have to put him in the S tier because honestly, he's like he should be on every team. He's meta for like every single game mode. So credit where credit is due, and as you can see, he is now copyright skinned. All right, next up we got Mob. Now Mob's damage it leaves a little bit to be desired. All right, 26 for 12 is absolute trash. His nuke is only mid. Like it's like what? Let's spawn. His nuke is kind of mid. It's not terrible, but it's kind of mid. So overall, I'm gonna have to give him D tier. Like 26 for 12 is like horrendous for a 7-star. So I don't know, man. And honestly, nukes aren't even worth it anymore because we have Light Yagami with the free nuke. Yeah, I don't know, man. Mob, I don't like him. All right, next up we got Meliodas. Now Meliodas is meta. However, you could just use Zamasu for a low budget one. But he's actually OP, so Disintegration cuts any enemy's HP by 60% from the max. So honestly, this is basically meta for a ton of modes. I don't think it works on bosses though, but overall a great unit for infinite mode. And honestly, nobody does what he does, so he deserves S tier. I will put him a little bit lower in the S tier though, because he's more of a support unit, and I'll put more of the damage units higher in the S tier, because that's what most people care about. All right, next up we got Aizen. Now Aizen's damage has been surpassed. All right, this damage is absolute dog water. Okay, so that means he's only good for his abilities. And the thing about his abilities is they basically allow you to insta kill any raid mode with Hypnosis Takeover. Like, it is freaking busted. Basically, it just if you have 2 bosses in his range and use Hypnosis Takeover, it insta kills them effectively. And Hypnosis Reverse makes every enemy go back in the track. So like, honestly, his ability is just busted. So for that reason alone, he's really good. And he's not too bad to get. I'm gonna put him in like A tier since he's really good for raids. But I don't know. I guess I kind of have to give him S tier. He's really, really good for raids, guys. All right, he basically just insta kill raids. All right, let's go move on to the next set. All right, here we go. Next up, we got Zoro. So purple Zoro is absolutely pretty good. Unfortunately, it's affected by the DOT nerf, but total damage of 56.1 plus bleed isn't too bad. Honestly, though, compared to some of the units I'm about to show you, this is kind of mid, now that I think about it. So, I'm maybe not as high on him. However, he's a lot better than Sid. So, Sid bleed, yeah, let's just say this plus DOT nerf is absolutely trash. So, Sid, honestly, kind of trash now, but Zoro isn't too bad. So, Zoro-wise, I think, honestly, like, we've seen the damage, the tail of the tape. I'm going to put Zoro in B tier for bleed. He's a pretty good bleed unit, all right? But honestly, compared to the A tier and S tier units, he's nothing. And of course, Sid, I'm going to put in the D tier because, bro, this man needs a buff. It is absolutely criminal how low his max DPS is, even though he does have that nuke. All right, next up, we'll just speedrun these two guys, the MHA units, bro. It's bad. It's bad. Even Decay kind of sucks. And honestly, Deku's okay because he can do basically slow, stun, whatever you want, even buff. So that's kind of useful, but like his damage just really sucks. So he's kind of jack of all trades, master of none. I'm going to put him in D tier. And I'll put this guy in F tier. He's just absolutely atrocious. Like this bro, 2.3 million on a 7-star, bro. On a freaking, I don't even know if I can call him a 7-star, all right? Let's be real here. All right, next up we have Tanjiro's daddy. This guy's it's just a Tanjiro skin, all right? So it's Tanjiro here. You can kind of see, guys, 71.9 plus Sunburn for 12 is not too bad, especially when you're comparing it with Zoro. So he's kind of up there with Zoro, I'd say. However, you can't really use him with Wax Slow. So for that reason, I'm going to put him 1 tier below. I'll put him in C tier. Because everybody's using Wax Slow nowadays. So I don't think anybody's going to really want to use Tanjiro. All right, next up, we got Gohan Beast. Now, Gohan Beast's damage is pretty decent, but 6.91 for 8 just hasn't really held the test of time, guys. So for that reason alone, I don't even think I can put him in C tier, man. I'm gonna have to put him in like D tier. Like compared to like Cell and stuff, I think Cell had like double this guy's damage. It was crazy, man. It just look at this guy's like there's levels to this, man. There's just levels to this. All right, let's go move on to the next set. But before we do, guys, Ryuk is technically a 7-star, but he's one of the worst 7-stars in the game. The free 6-star is better than him, so I'm gonna put Ryuk in F tier. However, he's a really good trading unit, so keep that in mind. All right, next up I have Guts. Yeah, he has a skin on him, but it is what it is. I believe Guts needs a buff still. I'm trying to remember correctly. 42.1 for 6? Oh, man. And DOT nerfed? Bro, what? Dude, okay, you guys seen the damage, man. It ain't worth it. All right? It ain't worth it. All right. Well, next up we have Griffith. He's a normal slow unit, and he hits air, so that's kind of his claim to fame. And he has standby as well, so he's not that bad. But bro, where's his fucking shirt, bro? At least he has pants now. Dang. Oh my gosh. Anyways, he's okay. So overall, Guts. Oh man, I don't know, man. Guts. I just can't really give credit to him, man. With the DOT nerf, I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. Griffith, he's okay. I'm gonna put him in B tier. He's not too bad, but like I don't think many people are gonna use him. But he is slow if you want slow instead of wax slow, so I'll give him some credit. All right, next up we got Ichigo and Boros. They're basically the same unit. I'll show you why. Like you can kind of see their damage, etc. They did make it Kirito more expensive, so that is true. But honestly, their damage is kind of bad. Now that I look at it, 73.4 for 9. There's units with a lot better damage than this, especially for that price. 158 for 12. So a little bit disappointing. I will say, looks like Boros is doing more DPS. However, this guy does have crit, so keep that in mind. So overall, I personally like them a lot, but I just don't think they, deserve the cut per se. I'm gonna say probably might rather have them over Zoro, but they're close to Zoro, I'd say. So I'll give them B tier. All right, Boo. He has a cool ability, but it's just not that good anymore. So Sleep increases your base HP by 5 billion, but Speedaholic is just a better version of that. And then he's also kind of a mid time stop with his Candy Beam attack. So overall, he's not a bad unit. He's just not like really meta for anything anymore. But overall, he's a decent unit. So I'm gonna give him B tier. He's not like that bad. So B for Boo, I guess. All right, next up we got this is the old Star Pass unit, Vegeta and Goku. You're gonna see their stats. It's 36.5 for 11 is pretty bad. However, he does have like a 10 billion damage nuke. But even 10 billion damage anymore is just not that good for a nuke that you have to charge up. So I'm gonna put him as well. I don't know. I'm gonna put him in D tier. I don't think he's gonna be used that much anymore. Like he's just kind of bad. He needs a buff. All right, let's move on to the next set. All right, next up we got Luffy 7-star. He's okay for raids if you pair him with Zamasu. But overall, his damage, he's not too bad. But I'm not gonna say it's amazing. Like 44 for 4. It's decent, all right. It's decent. It's actually kind of up there almost with Boros. However, he does have 2 cool abilities. So Fifth Form Gun is a % nuke. All right, and Liberation protects your base. So he has some pretty cool abilities. So he's not really a damaging unit, but because of his abilities, I'll give him A tier. His abilities are very, very cool. All right, so next up we have, oh my gosh, this ability looks sick though. They haven't even reskinned him yet, so that's a W. Because you're about to see some reskins, like what the frick is that over here? But all right, 1 second. Let me wait for this cutscene. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this cutscene being like 10 minutes long. This usually kills me, guys, whenever this cutscene goes. That like you can't click anything and you're just screwed. All right, anyways, next up we got Poochie. What the frick is over there? So they completely redid Poochie. So it looks like he got a reskin, and I like his reskin. I don't know if this is like if this is canon or not, but honestly, his reskin looks freaking sick. So his reskin's a W, bro. I like him with the long hair. Like that's the look. His damage kind of sucks, but again, he has that universe reset ability, sending everybody to the front of the map. It's absolutely busted. Like, if you're using him, you're using him for the ability, and his ability is meta for pretty much infinite mode. So I'll give him some credit for that, but his damage is so low. I'm gonna put him in A tier. I do think he's really, actually, no, I'll put him in S tier. His ability is honestly like, it's better than Meliodas, I'd say. Like it's up there. So I think his ability is busted enough to put him in S tier. It's better than Luffy's for sure. All right, next up we got Yamamoto. Now Yamamoto, guys, he's outdated now, man. 8 million for 8, bro. Like I'm gonna throw up. That is disgusting. All right, East 34. That's disgustingly low too. Bro, what the frick? 23.5, even with burn? Like, he has not been buffed since the DOT nerf days. So, honestly, look how trash that is, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Actually, you know what? This is a little bit better, but this is what? Single target? Oh, no, it is AoE. And it is burn. You know what? 15 SPA, though? I don't know, man. And burn, I don't really like burn that much. So, no, burn's okay. Which one was the one I hated? Was it burn that I hated? I forget. It was poison that I hated. Yeah, now I remember. Overall, though, I'd probably say he's kind of up there with Guts and Tanjiro, but I would probably pick Guts and Tanjiro over him for the most part. So kind of a pass. You watch, honestly, he's still meta, guys. Like full AoE buff, like why not? Personally, I would go with Speedaholic though in most cases, because Speedaholic can make your base HP go to like basically a freaking billions. So I don't know if I use him as much as I do anymore, but I'm gonna give him some credit where credit's due. I'll put him in the A tier. He's unobtainable. And Speedaholic is probably better than him, but you know what? For what he is, he's a great unit. And he you know what? Set it and forget, guys. You just run it, and now everything's always max. All right, next up we got Pain or Nagato. Yeah, guys, he's now yellow and purple. I guess we got that copyright grind on here. Now, damage-wise, I think he kind of needs a buff there. 79.5 for 26. However, he does have a bunch of minions. 14.3 for 4 is really good. That's the equivalent of 2 cells right there. We got Gale Slow. So all of his minions combined kind of make him worth it. 57.5 for 4. So overall, pretty good, I'd say. Base healing, pretty nice, but kind of mid now thanks to Speedaholic. And they reskinned almost all these things. They look kind of weird now, but it is what it is. So overall, pretty good. Pain. I'm going to give him some credit. I'll put him up in the B tier. I'd probably say he's up there with Kirito and Boros. He's actually... I'll put him higher on the list. I'm gonna give him some credit, guys. He's not bad. All right, next up we got Gojo. For some reason, he's not reskinned yet, which is a W. He's the best time stop in the game. All right, and of course, guys, he got the big boy time stop as well with the nuke. So I pretty much always use him in my infinite mode. So for that reason alone, we kind of gotta give him S tier. I'd probably say he's up there with Poochie. Of course, the time stop, so he's really good. So highly recommended, easy S tier right there. All right, let's go move on to the next set, guys, because it looks like we got a lot of OP units to go through now that we got through all of the kind of the mid units. Oh, I forgot to put Naruto on the list. Naruto is basically a better version of Cell, so I'll put him up there. That's about right. All right, here we go. So next up we have UI Goku. Now UI Goku, he's pretty good. People can even use him in raid mode, and honestly, thanks to Pizza Girl, you can place him on wave 1 because you can get up to 900 cash on wave 1, and it makes him a pretty good beast. So raid mode stats, honestly, not half bad. Infinite mode stats, of course, he got this and a crit. 89.2 million for 7 is pretty decent, plus with his double abilities and a nuke. So overall, pretty good unit. And he's like, I think it was him, he's meta for, what's it called? For a random boss rush. So overall, I'm gonna give him his credit. I'm gonna put him in I'm gonna put high A tier. I don't think he's quite S tier for damage, as you're about to see, because 89, it gets a little higher than that. But overall, pretty dang good. All right, next up we got Jiren. Now Jiren's okay. 7.19 for 6. That's not bad. After he meditates for a while, he does get better, but they did buff his AoE, it looks like. But overall, he's kind of like a low A tier unit for me. He's like I don't know, man. He's not as good as he once was. We'll put it that way. But he's not half bad. His meditation does make him pretty OP, but you gotta wait 10 waves to use him, so it is what it is. All right, next up we got Eren and Ymir. Eren is an 8 placement. Ymir is a single placement. Her damage, 41.2 for 7, is not that bad, but you can summon like all of these freaking things. So you can nuke, you can summon this big boy. You can summon a lot of things. So overall, she's actually pretty useful. So I'm gonna give her credit. I'm gonna put her in the A tier for sure. She just has a lot of utility. Now Eren though is a different story. They did buff him, so he's a lot better than he used to be. However, his rumbling ability is so weak. Like, I don't know. And it doesn't even work in infinite mode. So it's just absolutely trash. But 7.48 for 6 with full AoE is pretty good. All right. I'll give it some credit. I'd probably say it's about up there with Naruto. So I'll put him down there with Naruto and the like. Probably worse though. But, you know, he's not too bad. I do like the full AoE. All right. Next up, we got Gilgamesh and Madara. So I'll put them side by side. They're very similar units. So Gilgamesh, 153 for 12. Really nice. And Legendary Leader 111 for 9. So roughly the same DPS and same AoEs. So you're basically just comparing their abilities. So it's kind of, you know, like which ability do you want more? They're both airs. You get Suku and Yomi. So you can Black Flames them and also, I believe, rewind them. Or you can just like insane percentage nuke. It's busted. So overall, they're both basically the same. So I'm going to put them both in the A tier. Very, very good units. I believe we have some units with higher DPS now though. So we'll go over those right now. Before we do, just to speed this up, guys, Vegeta, I'm gonna just put him in the D tier, guys. He's basically just fodder material to get into Ego, so I'm just gonna skip him. He's not that good. Also, guys, Netero does not work. You can see he's currently unequipable. Hopefully they fix him for the next update. So I'll put him on the tier list then. But for now, let's check out the last 6 of the units. All right, and don't forget, guys, to hit the subscribe button. Remember, we are doing that 1 million Robux giveaway. All you guys have to do is subscribe. We'll be picking the winner at 1 million subscribers. All right, I'm very excited for that. So let's get it cracking with these last few units, the best units in the game, except for Dazai. I don't really like Dazai. He's mid in my opinion, but we'll talk about it. All right, so first up, Dazai. The Dazai has a special ability, and that is he does double damage to units with these effects on them. Stuff like powerful air mini boss, stuff like that. If it has that title, he does double damage. So, which is pretty nice. However, his damage 9.59 for 8. Even though he is full AoE, it isn't the greatest. However, I will say it is up there with Aaron, but Fall of Man, and remember, he does do double damage to those kind of units. You can kind of see that. 19.1, you can kind of see what's going on there. So he actually is pretty powerful there. So Fall of Man, I believe, removes cloners. So that's actually really good. So he's a support and other things as well. So that's very useful. So overall, I'm going to give him solid. He's better than here. Yeah, he's kind of has some support too. I'll give him low A tier. He's not that bad. All right, next up we got Dazai. Just kidding, we just did him. And we got Mereum. Now Mereum can eat other units. So I'll show you exactly what Mereum does. So Mereum looks like for raid mode, not that bad. Dang, okay. 15.1 for 7 and dark. So you can combo him with Astd. There we go. 6.64 million. Then Aura Synthesis. So this ability allows him to eat other units. So first up, he starts off with very good damage, guys. 172 for 12 is already really good. So he can eat other units, but the problem is you can never place those units again. So I'm going to get a Dazai down. And you're going to see his damage is going to go up by, like, I think half of this. So 172 to 175. So it looks like it went up by a third of what it did, or maybe a quarter. Yeah, maybe a quarter. So a quarter of the damage or something like that. So you can only use it once. So you can use like a really powerful unit like Sukuna and just get a ton of stuff. So overall, full AoE as well. So very, very nice. So highly recommended unit, and I'd say one of the best units in the game. However, Aura Synthesis, because you can't ever like replace the unit, it's just not that good. So that's the only problem with Aura Synthesis. It's not as useful as you think, but overall DPS wise, he technically is the highest DPS in the game. So I'll give him like top of the top here. However, personally, I like Sukuna better. You're gonna see his damage just goes absolutely dumb. Like he gets rupture, 21.5 million rupture for 3 is busted, 32.7. 139 for 8.5. Like I believe that even is higher DPS than this. However, you can only place 1 in the entire game, so that's kind of tough. And he does have multiple abilities as well. So I believe Walfer Maker instant kills units with under like 10% HP or something, and then Incomplete Shrine I believe is a nuke or something like that. It's one of those two. So they're really good abilities. Highly recommended. So overall, I say Sukuna is probably the best out of the two. All right. However, you must have base HP, otherwise it'll insta kill you. So let's get back in here, guys. Also, I did promise to showcase all the units, so we will showcase Vegeta Blue, even though he's basically fodder. Remember, guys, since he's level 1, his max stats are going to be about 2.14x what this is. So a max stats can be about 40 million or something like that. Whatever, you know, 40,000. So overall, raid mode stats, like 1 million for 7, ain't great. And his damage, guys, it's so bad, bro. It is so, bro. Please don't use him. All right, also, I forgot to show Sasuke's stats because he got eaten, but 88.5 for 9, and you compare that with Ichigo. So Ichigo is only hits airs, 79.2 for 8. So which one would you rather have? No boost. Oh, this guy even has the category buff. Dang. So without the category buff, it's night and day. So keep that in mind, guys. I don't know how he got a category buff from freaking Vegeta, but so he's just way better, guys. Oh wait, let me show you the AoEs. So AoE wise, you're getting this circle, which isn't the greatest. However, I will say Ichigo does have the better circle, like the better AoE for sure. So I guess you're trading that smaller AoE for a lot more damage. All right. And there's also one other unit we got to show off. So we'll show him off in a second. So first up, we got Evil Shade. So he's really good. But look at that Black Flames damage. However, the thing is, he's so good for raids with his Dragon Absorption ability. Like, I got to give him S tier. So I definitely think he's better than all of these. I'll probably put him high A tier. He's really good. I really like him with his abilities. Darkness Flame, like he has some, that gives him everybody stoked. He has some really cool abilities, guys. All right, and he's actually good if you use his other thing on him. So overall, I really like him a lot. I might be an SIMP for him, so it is what it is. All right, next up we got Ichigo. I mean, we got Vegeta. The thing is, you can only use Vegeta or him. So it is what it is. And this guy's kind of Black Flame. So let me read you. Yeah, I guess A tier is fine. Yeah, I might actually put him a little bit lower. We'll put him about there. There we go. I think that's fair, considering he kind of gets eclipsed by Sasuke. All right, so you can either use him or him because of their one ability, and that ability is called Wounded Pride. That's gonna increase his damage by a ton. However, the thing is, you can only use it on him or you can only use it once per game globally. So, however, he does this plus rage. Basically makes him one of the best DPSs in the game. So overall, I'd probably put him over Mereum. He's really good. Really busted. And of course, I believe he has like nuke and other things. You see, if you use him, you can't use Dragon Absorption, if that makes sense. And then last up, we got the one and only Joe Kid. So Joe Kid's raid mode stats are actually pretty decent. That's not half bad. Single placement, of course. Status effect, enchant rotation. So basically, it makes enchants like pointless. It's really weird. Like basically, it just makes enchants pointless. It basically removes enchants from the game. And then his damage, of course, guys, 185 for 9. Insanely busted OP. One of the top damages in the game. And of course, he also has less than 5 ability, which does rotation lock. Enemies marked with rotation lock will be trapped in one specific path, constantly looping it over and over until the effect wears off for about 90 seconds. So this is similar to Law's replacement, but happening over and over. So basically, it's a better Law. So it's absolutely insanely busted, guys. So overall, with that, I'm gonna have to put him high S tier. I probably say damage-wise, etc. He might be the best unit in the game. Like he just really busted OP thanks to most of these abilities. So highly recommended. I'm gonna just put him in the top of S tier for now, mainly because he's the only person with rotation lock, and that's just insanely OP. And his damage, honestly, like his damage is just busted. It's insane. I know he doesn't have rupture and all, but like, bruh, he's up there. All right, these 3 units specifically just really good. You can maybe throw in Sasuke there. So there you go, guys, the best 7 stars in the game. Comment down below what you think of my tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe if you guys want to enter in the 1 million Robux giveaway. Peace out.